Zulkarnain, really appreciate your time. Let's start with something
Thank you.
very basic and fundamental. You're one of those people who say that the last three elections in Bangladesh were not free and fair. So, what do you think is different this time?
Thank you. This time we have a situation where the political parties who were not participating in the previous elections have wholeheartedly joined or agreed to participate in the election. We can see the BNP, Bangladesh, Jamaat Islami, Jatiyo Party, and some other parties who have created alliance with Jamaat Islami. They all have agreed to come into one to participate in the elections. So that itself is very different than the previous elections. And of course, since the Awami League is not allowed to conduct its political activities, it has been banned. They are not here in this election, which I feel is something that they should have considered, because Awami League definitely has 25 to 30% of vote base. So such a large party, and again, it would be great if Awami League was also allowed to to participate in this, but it is what it is. They're not allowed because of the acts that they have done before, and it is not a good sign for democracy. And banning any party or banning the activities of any political party is not regarded as a positive sign. And that happened under the leadership of Dr. Yunus, who is a Nobel Peace Laureate, who has been always raising the flag of democracy high and talking very positive things about democratic values, rights, and all. So it was kind of interesting to see that the Awami League has been totally kept outside of the election.
Okay, so now coming back to the elections, you've mentioned Muhammad Yunus. One of his promises was that he wanted to organize a free and fair election. So overall, are majority of Bangladeshis, are they trusting this election process?
I would say yes. Majority of the Bangladeshis are looking forward to it. They are positive that that finally they will be able to cast their vote. Since if you take away the vote base of Awami League, which 20 to 25, 30% of it, maximum 30% of it, still there are 70% voters in the country, and they are going to participate. They are going to exercise their voting rights. We have a generation who grew up since 2008. There was not really any great election atmosphere in the country. So a new generation will vote in this election who could never cast their votes because there was not really any opportunity. It was only just Awami League and their cronies who were participating in the election. So now we'll see which political party they elect to the parliament.
So it's going to be very interesting. And do you think it's going to be a tough competition? I mean, let's talk about the main political players right now. It's the
Yeah.
BNP.
Mm-hmm.
And many polls suggest, we have read reports that BNP, when it comes to opinion polls, it is leading. What do you think? Like, what is this political party? And it's a tried and tested political party. So what is it offering this time to the people of Bangladesh? And why do you think people are supporting it, or it's coming on the top when it comes to the public opinion?
Yeah. BNP is a political party who practices open form of democracy. They promotes democratic values, democratic rights, and participation of all in the democratic sphere. They are not someone who are closed or conservative. It's a party that upholds the secular values and ensures freedom of speech. They have already given mandate that they are going to ensure freedom of speech. They're going to ensure equal rights for women. They're going to ensure various development models that will benefit the underprivileged societies, and they have
So there is,
promised.
yeah, when I speak with young Bangladeshi, some of them are students here.
Yeah.
When I went to Bangladesh, some of the people that I met there, some young people have this fear or this concern that BNP, if BNP comes into power, they may also have the same authoritarian tendencies. That fear,
Yeah.
do you think, is genuine?
Well, of course it is. It is genuine because in South Asia, in the South Asian uh, scenario of governance, we do not really see any model of consolidated democracy that we see here in practice in the UK or in Germany or elsewhere, because like we just have a basic part of democracy, that is people goes to vote and then they elect somebody to the parliament. They come to the parliament and then they run their business as usual. So that consolidated democracy is of course missing. Again, since the BNP leadership, the BNP as a political party have suffered a lot. It has gone through a serious turmoil over the last 15, 16 years. Now is the time that they have the opportunity to demonstrate the best of them. So if they do not demonstrate it now, people, the new generation of Bangladeshis, the Gen Z, they are not fools. They know how to take their rights, and they are fully aware of their fundamental rights that they can ask from the country. So managing the dissent would be a serious task for any political party who are going to form the government in the next election. And of course, we have the Jamaat Islami. Jamaat Islami is a
Yeah.
political party who have, of course, gained a lot of attention because of their clean image that they have maintained in aspect of corruption, in aspect of transparency in the governing system, and their organization is quite well managed. If you look at their grassroots level or their hierarchy, the leadership management, they have tried to fend off family dynasty politics. Although there are certain Jamaat Islami leaders who are competing in this upcoming election who are related to ex or previous Jamaat leader families, they do not really promote such things that you allow the family members to carry forward the legacy. So Jamaat's
Yeah.
only crisis is they are a bit reserved. They're a bit they're really conservative. Like when it comes to certain amenities for women, empowering
And
females.
Zulkarnain, how can we like completely ignore this? I mean, I was just watching this interview of Shafiqur Rahman given to Al Jazeera. I suppose you're one of the producers of that
Yeah,
interview, and
yeah.
Shafiqur Rahman clearly, like, I mean, their views are like he clearly said that he cannot imagine that a woman becoming head of Jamaat Islami. I mean, they do respect the parliament. They do say that they will vote and they will contest this election through the current law and current system of Bangladesh. But some of their views are quite problematic.
Well, it is actually quite concerning that they view it this way. But Mr. Shafiq explained that since they follow the rule of Quran, and since he clearly mentioned that there are certain things that Allah created in that way that they cannot change, I prefer not to comment on those things because I'm already a part of that program. So it won't be wise for me to comment on whatever he has commented.
Polls also suggest that after BNP, it's Jamaat is the most popular political party, and they have made this big alliance. I think it's
Yeah,
10 political parties along with the student party,
11. Yeah, 11. I
so
think.
11 political parties.
Yeah.
So this big alliance, can they really give tough time to the BNP?
Well, what has happened in for the last 15, 16 years, the mainstream political parties like BNP, Jamaat Islami, they were not really allowed to engage into political activities broadly. There were their activists, their party leaders, party supporters even faced serious repercussion from the then Army League regime, and there are people where their activists, leaders were arrested, abducted. Many face like fates such as many were abducted with force, like which we call enforced disappearances. Many are victims of crossfire extrajudicial killings, and
Just okay.
there are
I mean, just
hundreds and thousands of arrests without any kind of proper charges. So all these things did create significant public sympathy, significant public support for Jamaat Islami, for the BNP, And Jamaat, from any other time, I would say that yes, they are in a strong position now. Although in any of the previous election, Jamaat fails to secure more than 10% of the vote overall. So this is something, it is going to be a new chapter for them, I would say, and we'll see how things roll out.
Okay, just because there's nobody from Awami League here, so it's important for me to present their point of view. They completely deny that any illegal activities were done, or any if there were any irregularities, or there were any enforced disappearances or extrajudicial killings. Just to have their point of view. Of
Yeah.
course, Jamaat has their own point of view. BNP
Yeah.
has their own point of view. But it comes to Jamaat, and now you're saying that they it seems that they have gained some political space.
Yeah.
If they come into power, if Jamaat comes into power, I'm trying to understand, explain to me, because when you look at Bangladesh from outside and when you see it's an Islamist party,
Mhm.
sometimes there is a fear. Already in that region, we know that in Afghanistan there is a fundamentalist government.
Yeah.
How is Jamaat Islami different?
Jamaat Islami in Bangladesh is not that a conservative party, but I'm not sure what we'll experience. Because I myself, I have never experienced a Jamaat government before. But what I'm hearing from their supporters, from their leaders, certain things are very alarming. Like very alarming. Like for an example, one of their we have heard it multiple times that their leaders are promising that Jamaat Islami is a way to get into Jannah, that you can get if you vote for Jamaat, you will end up in heaven, or if you do not vote for Jamaat, then you will have to answer once you're dead, once you go inside your grave, the angels will come and ask you why you
So,
didn't vote
so
Jamaat. So these kind of
they're
funny
using
things they are
religion.
being settling. Yeah. And also the concern that we have noticed about women empowerment is uh, the things that Mr. Shafiq denied, or he went on the record by saying various things that why Jamaat cannot really have any women leadership, or why they cannot have any females participating in the election. I don't really. I just find those answers a bit problematic given the present context and given the time we are in. It's not how you promote equality, gender equality, and all.
What about the student party? The student party, I mean, they led the uprising in
Mhm.
Bangladesh, and they became well-known faces, their leaders, but they have been struggling to gain like political ground in the country. And
Well,
why do you think
actually,
this?
it would not be ideal to say that they led the movement in Bangladesh. Yes, some of their leaders were at the forefront, but also leaders from Bangladesh National Party, youth leaders from Bangladesh Nationalist Party, some other leftist parties, and the general people of Bangladesh were in the front of that movement. Like it was participated by all. Yes, those leaders, those boys, Students Against Discrimination, they initiated that movement. That is true, but it was joined by many. And also, since they formed the alliance with Jamaat, most of the female leaders of that student party left. They deserted the party because they do not really appreciate the decision of joining Jamaat Islami.
Okay, okay, we'll end the interview now. Lastly, I would like to ask you, how important do you think this election is for the future of Bangladesh? There have been a lot of hopes pinned to this election, that maybe this is finally when Bangladesh will move towards a democratic future. Will it happen?
Well, we always hope. We all are hoping that things really change from here, because it is an election that has been long. Like we have long wished for it. We have a lot of sacrifice has gone behind it, and we cannot afford to lose this momentum we are at right now. So there is no question that this is a very important election. This is a seriously important election. Bangladesh is at the juncture of a uh, serious historical moment right now. So if anything goes wrong from here, if any party, any of these two parties, major two parties, do otherwise, I think consequences for the country, the sovereignty of the Bangladesh, and the security situation will be in jeopardy.